Bookish Babes, and welcome to my book nook. Those that are new around here, the name's Rainy Barton. I teach elementary music and I also read lots of books, mainly thriller and horror, but not even mainly anymore. I also read romance, fantasy, nonfiction, all the things. So if you're interested in that, please like and subscribe down below. It really helps my channel grow. Today's video is going to be a fun collab vlog that I am doing with my friends Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading and Neva from Reading with Neva. And this was all Brittany's idea. She is the mastermind of like most creative ideas, and so I can't take any credit for this. But we are all participating in Realmathon, which is hosted by Cassidy, which I have linked to her channel underneath here. It's too late. Oh, it's not too late to join the readathon. I mean, there's a couple days of April left, but regardless. So each team, there are a couple of teams that are competing against each other, and the team that we three chose was Team Cyrus, which is the romance team, where we're reading a bunch of romance books. And so my friend Brittany was like, well, what if we did a themed reading vlog for Team Cyrus where we read books for the readathon based off of Miley Cyrus songs because of Cyrus? And I said, that's fabulous, because I love Miley Cyrus. She's one of my favorite artists. I think she is so unique. She has an insanely talented voice. Every album of hers is pure perfection. I absolutely loved her new album. Like, her songs are so good. Like, Jaded is really good. Rose Colored Glasses is really good. I just love Miley Cyrus, and I've loved her through the years, even during her little wild phase. But anyway, we each chose a song that we loved from Miley Cyrus, and then we had to find a book that either matched that through like concept or title, or like had some semblance of like significance towards it. And so some of us, I think we all chose different books, except for me and Neva are sharing one book for this vlog. So I'm just going to tell you what books I am reading, what books you will see throughout this vlog. I have already read all of these books at the time that I'm filming this intro. Will also say this vlog is going to be very chaotic, and you will find out why in a few minutes, probably in the same outfit, I'm not going to lie. But the books that I am reading is for my song. I chose Prisoner by Miley Cyrus and Dua Lipa because I am obsessed with that song and I've always liked that song, and I also knew that I could easily turn that into Prisoner being a captive book that I could read. And I finally get the chance to read Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark, which is the second book in the Brutal Birthright series, and so that is what I chose to read. So this one is about Mikołaj, which is from the Polish mafia, and basically something happens to his sister like 10 years prior, and so like he finally has the chance to get revenge, and he decides to steal one of the daughters of the Griffin family from the first novel and like keep her as his captive prisoner, and like she's this cute little ballerina dancer, and so it's very much Beauty and Beast retelling, like the Beast falls in love with the Beauty, you know, all of that sort of stuff. So I am very excited to let you know what I thought of this. A good time. Then Brittany, I believe, chose The Word River by Miley Cyrus because that's one of her new songs, and it's also very good. And so for that, I chose The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker, simply because it takes place in Alaska, and I know there's got to be a river somewhere, and in this vlog, there is a river. So, you know, this worked for me. The Alaskan wildlife called to me. But this one is about Calla Fletcher, and basically how her dad was a pilot in Alaska and married his wife, and he basically couldn't stop working and only cared about living in Alaska, and so they divorce, and she moves with Calla to Toronto, and so she has an estranged relationship with her father. But then when she gets called back to see her father because he's not doing well, she has to like go confront her past, and then she starts to fall for a guy who is also a pilot, and it's kind of like, is she going to repeat the same mistakes that her mother made in the past and her father made in the past, and is this going to be their relationship or not? And this is a series, and I can't wait to read the rest of the series, so I'm sure that might give you a little insight into how I liked this or not. But this is the book I chose for that. And then the last one I chose is for Flowers by Miley Cyrus, which is her newest, you know, catchy song that Neva chose for that one. And I chose Daisy Haites by Jessa Hastings because I've been wanting to finish the Magnolia Parks series, and so I figured I might as well keep going with this. As you can tell, I didn't get to tab all of the book, and we will have explanations for that as well at the end of this vlog because I was running out of time and just other things. But this is the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe, and so that is what I'm reading. So these are the 3 books that you will see within this vlog. It's going to be a fun, chaotic time, as you find out why very shortly. And with that, let's dive into book number 1. Hello, I'm in the car with Hupper and Babe, who you cannot see. Anyway, first update on The Simple Wild I am 12% in now, chapter 4, about 40 pages in, and I am actually really liking it. So, I don't think I've said what this book is about yet. It's basically about a girl named Kala who, when she was born in Alaska, and her mom left her dad, Ren, when they were 2, or when she was 2, because all he wanted, he was just not very good husband, and all he cared about was like the Alaska wild. And so she moved back to Toronto, begged him to come with her, and he wouldn't, and so they divorced. And so she's been estranged from her dad all her life because he just hasn't been there to be there for her. And then she loses her job, and he ends up having cancer and decides that he wants to have a relationship with her after all. And so she has to go back to Alaska. And then, of course, she's going to find a romance while she's there with, like, a pilot just like her dad. And her mom's going to be like, don't do the same mistake I did and fall for an Alaskan pilot, because they'll always choose being a pilot in Alaska over you. So anyway, that's where we're at. And I haven't gotten very far. I'm just to the part where she finally decided, okay, I guess I'll go to Alaska. And so that's where we are. But I am liking this. And if I didn't say why I chose this, it is because the wild of Alaska has to have a river, right? So that is open to interpretation, but I am going to accept that as valid interpretation for this prompt. And that's where we're at. So I will give you another update in a little bit. Goodbye. I told you I would figure out how this was connected to the word river for Miley Cyrus. And it says right there, it's peppered with streams and lakes of all shapes and sizes, and one wide river that snakes through it. I knew there'd be a river in this book. Has it mentioned a river any other time? No, but you know what? It did there. Okay, y'all, you be getting this update days and days later after I made that first update about The Simple Wild. So it has taken me a couple of days to read it, because a lot of stuff has been going on. We had a death in the family on the night of my spring arts showcase, and my husband's grandfather passed away, and that's like one of his best friends in the whole world, so it's been really hard. Him and his wife were married for like 65 or 63 years. It's been really hard on the whole family. So we've literally been over to his grandma's house like 3 out of 4 days in the last like 4 days. And so I just haven't been home. I haven't been really getting a lot done. I've also been feeling like crap, like little babe is ready to come out. I had a doctor appointment today. I'm 36 weeks. And they said that her head is so low, like she is just ready to come out into this world. So I technically have 27 days till she's supposed to make her appearance. But they said I'm probably not going to make it that long. So you know what? It's just been a whole journey, a whole adventure. But I am here to update you on the first book in this vlog. And I'm sorry that I didn't update you more than once about this, but I am done with this book. And so let's talk about it. It is a 5-star. It is a 5-star. It is fan-freaking-tastic. This is the cutest book. I loved everything about it. I loved Kala and Jonah's relationship. He's very grumpy sunshine. She's like that, you know, girl, that uptown girl that is very like, oh, I live a very bougie life. I have to have like my soy milk lattes and like all this stuff. And he's very like grumpy sunshine, like, I don't care about women like that. But of course he ends up falling for her. And then I loved the relationship with her and her dad, and even how they're estranged when you find out like why they're estranged and like what actually happened and all of that, and their bonding. It was fantastic. And there were some really sad moments with the dad, and I'm not going to spoil that because like that is a big part of the story, but it was so good. I just loved it. And I loved the side characters like Agnes and Mabel and Billy and all these characters. And then the end, it was so good. I loved it. Better believe I already have the sequel on deck. I am ready to do this. However, here is the problem. So I bought these both on Pango, and one of these is like that matte type paperback, and one of them is like a traditional paperback. So they're not even the same size, slightly, and they are different consistencies. And so honestly, that kind of bothers me, but you know what? I'm just going to have to deal with it. So I am very excited to read this and get to this one soon, because there are 3 books that follow just Calla and Jonah, and then there is a novella that I think follows another character. I don't know for sure, but yeah, this is fabulous, and I loved it. I'm so glad I finally read it. It is 5 stars, and that is a success for the first book in this vlog. So the next book that you are going to see me reading is Daisy Haites by Jessa Hastings. I am already about 10% into that book, but I will update you on that when I get a little further. Hello friends, on to book 3 in this Cyrus vlog, and the song that I chose for Miley Cyrus that is one of my favorites is Prisoner, the one that she does with Dua Lipa. I just love that song. I've listened to it probably 500 times at this point. It's just very catchy, and so what better to do for a Prisoner book idea than Captor Captive, and that would be the second book in the Brutal Birthright series, Stolen Heir by Sophie Lark. I already read Brutal Prince. I'm currently working on a Brutal Birthright vlog, so you're probably going to see this book again in that vlog, but in much more detail, so I won't be as vocal about it in this one, but I'm still reading it for this one. So this one is basically a Beauty and the Beast Captor Captive situation about the Polish mafia, a man named Miko Lodge, who is getting revenge for the death of like his mob boss, who he looks up to as a father, and he decides to kidnap the family that killed his father, the youngest daughter in the mafia family. Her name's Nessa. She's a little ballerina. I think she's like 17 or 18 years old. And so he decides to kidnap her and torture her and like tear this family apart one by one because she's so important to them. And so I'm about 100 pages in where he's already kidnapped her. She's starting to like get into the captor captive like role, like where people bring meals to her, and she's trying to figure out like who he is and like why he did this and like what he ultimately wants from her and all that. And I'm loving it as always because I love Sophie Lark's writing. I honestly think she is just very talented, and I'm very excited to get to the rest of this. So I will probably update you at the 50% mark. But I'm exhausted. I had my son's birthday party today, and then yesterday I went to the Taylor Swift concert, which you will get clips of in this vlog because it was fan-freaking-tastic. I just loved it so much. Probably the best concert I've ever been to in my life, if we're being honest here. And so I'm very, very excited to show you clips of that. But anyway, it was great. It was magical, and I'm gonna probably read a little bit more because this book really does read fast. I did have to buy it on Audible in order to do it for this vlog because I was running out of time. This video comes out in like 4 days, and I still have a good chunk of Daisy Haites at this point. I'm reading both books simultaneously, and this. And I was going to annotate this because I annotated the first book because I was in a podcast episode with my friend over on the Turgid Tomes podcast, and so I will link that podcast episode down below if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts about the first book in this series, which I loved. It was 5 stars. It was magical. And that was an enemies to lovers romance. And this is well, still an enemies to lovers, but captor captive is more what the situation is. Anyway, I knew I was not going to be able to read this physically. I have to have the audio. So I bought 3 more credits. I ended up getting the audio. I'm not going to annotate this right now. I will go back and annotate this when I have more time, but I have got to finish this book. And thank God I have the audio. It's only like a 9-hour audio. I'm getting through it super fast. So that is the plan. I will come back to you with an update at some point.
From the look on your face, every bait and switch was a workout. What did you say the last I know? Whenever you stray above, right going and it's right now, 'cause you can't make it down that road. You don't know what you don't know. Someday I'll be living in a big old city, and all you're ever gonna be is me. Oh yeah, you weren't even listening. Yeah, oh yeah.
Hello vlog. This is like 2 days later, and I did not update at all while I read this, but I'm finished with this book. I flew through it on the audiobook. It is a 5 star, and it was fantastic. I loved it. I don't know if I loved it more than the first book, because I really did love the first book, but this is the most authentic Beauty and the Beast captive retelling I've like read. It was very steamy. Actual like quotes and things that like very much made me go, wow, this is really Beauty and the Beast. Like things that he was saying. It was just so good. I loved the relationship between Miko and Nessa, and Miko being this giant mob Polish mafia boy with all the tats, and Nessa just being this sweet little cute ballerina, and it was just the cutest thing ever. I will say, this book did not have nearly as many smutty moments as the first book, and I really enjoyed the first book, but there was one scene in particular in this book that I was like, okay, I'll see you. So, I loved it. I'm so happy that I read it. So we are doing so good so far. So like my word for prisoner was fantastic. And Brittany's word for river was fantastic. We have 2 5-stars so far. And then finally we have Daisy Haites, which I'm probably going to put after this book at this point because I finished this one second. I know I said that this was the 3rd book, but you know what? Sometimes I switch things around. Anyway, are they all going to be 5 stars? Who knows? Who knows? But I have 2 days to finish Daisy Haites, so I need to go. Goodbye. You can tell I am loving it. I'm already tabbing it. It doesn't have that many tabs yet, but it does follow 3 different perspectives. It follows Daisy, it follows Julian, and it follows Christian, which I'm not going to say too much about this book because I don't want to spoil Magnolia Parks, which I do have a Magnolia Parks universe book video coming out soon. So you're going to see me read this in this vlog, but really like all the good content about this is going to go into that spoiler-filled Magnolia Parks universe vlog. But I had to use this for Daisy because Neva chose the song Flowers by Miley Cyrus, and so a daisy is a type of flower, hence why we're reading this book for this vlog. And also, I could not afford to read another book this month, so I had to make my current reads fit, and I'm currently reading this for Realmathon for Team Cyrus as well. So, it is what it is. Alright, update later.
Hello, just hanging out with the babe. This is Eloise Kennedy Barton, and have I gotten a lot of sleep? No, because she has decided that she does not want to sleep in her bassinet. She wants to constantly be on mommy or daddy. But how can you ignore and deny this little face? Am I right? We're doing great. I will update you all later. Time to get all the snuggles I can with little babe.
Okay, you're getting all these updates in this shirt, and there's a reason, okay? So here's why this vlog is chaotic. We were going to release this vlog on April 20th, which is last Thursday. However, on Wednesday morning, I had not finished reading Daisy Haites yet. That was the only book. And the reason, as you can see from these vlog clips prior, is, or that you see after this, I don't know when, is that I just was not enjoying it nearly as much as Magnolia Parks. And I've heard that you are one of 2 people. You either love the entire series or you really love books 1 and 3 because they focus on Magnolia and BJ, and you don't care as much for the Daisy Haites ones. And I'm finding myself in the latter. I'm not really enjoying the Daisy Haites ones nearly as much. But on Wednesday, I was going to start reading it, and I started having contractions really bad and get to it, and little baby girl Eloise is born on Thursday the 20th at midnight. And so my friends decided not to release that video, and we decided to wait a week. Thank God, because I didn't really get to start reading again until about 5 or 6 days being out of the hospital, because having a newborn, it's really hard. So I'll post a picture or 2 on the screen, but this is my little Eloise, and we are a week old as you see this video out today, which blows my mind. I can't believe that it's already been a week since I've had my baby girl. And she is fabulous, and she is perfect, and she is the cutest little thing ever, and Lincoln loves her so much. It is so cute to see them together. He gives her kisses all the time. He tries to help us make bottles. He's just fabulous. And so I'm very happy that he is getting to be a big brother. But that is what happened. That's why this vlog is chaotic, because I had a baby in between all of it. But you know what? It still went up. So I think that counts for something. Anyway, I'm going to finish out this vlog, and we're just going to keep rocking and rolling. Hello, I told you were getting all the updates in this shirt, because this is the only chance that I've gotten to update this vlog. It is what it is. So, the night before this vlog is supposed to go up, I finished Daisy Haites. And I did not finish annotating it and stuff because annotating it was taking me forever. And so I am going to have to go back and actually annotate this because I was still really enjoying this book, but because I didn't start picking it up again until the night before this vlog was due and I had like 330 pages to read, homegirl didn't have time to annotate. However, my final review for this is a 3.5 star, 3.5. It was not a 5, it wasn't even a 4. So there are 3 characters' perspectives all throughout this book. There is Daisy, obviously. There is Julian, which is her older brother. And then there's Christian, who's like her love interest. And I loved reading from Daisy's point of view. I loved reading from Julian's. And honestly, I didn't get enough of Julian. I could use a whole book on just Julian. I like him so much. I could not stand Christians. And I just feel like if I hated a third of this book, like every time we got to Christians, that I could not justify giving this a 5 or honestly even a 4 because like that's a whole third of the book that I'm not enjoying. And it was just like, it's just like the same thing over and over. He's just saying the same thing over and over. He's in love with someone else, but he just strings Daisy along. He's in love with someone else, but he kind of likes Daisy, but still strings her along. And it's just like, at the end of 400 pages, you get it, you know? You get it. So that is basically my thoughts about it. I still really enjoyed it. I honestly love Jessa Hastings still. She's still a favorite author for me, even though this is a 3.5 star. I'm sure the next book in the Magnolia Parks universe series will be one of my favorites because it focuses on BJ and Magnolia again. And I am interested in learning what the Daisy Haites the Great Undoing is about, like if we're just picking right back up where we left off with this or not. But like I said, this was just kind of not my favorite thing. And it's okay, but Julian can have his own book if he wants, and I would highly approve of that. I support that message because Julian is the sweetest older brother, and he's just so great, and he's just so interesting and intriguing, and I just love him so very much. But that's okay. That is my thoughts on Daisy Haites, and that's what that is. And to finish off in this wonderful shirt, those are the 3 books that I read. So we had 2 5 stars. We started out strong with The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker for Brittany's. And then for my word choice, we read Stolen Heir, had a fabulous time with it. And then for Neva's choice, we had Daisy Haites. I had a 3.5 star. But 2 5 stars and a 3.5 are not really that bad because I still would recommend this to people. So overall, I had a great time with this. It was really fun getting to do this inspired vlog that just happened to work with Realmathon. I would love to be able to do this again to another artist's song. So if you want to leave in the comments down below another artist that we should do this collab vlog on because it was actually a lot of fun, let a girl know. Other than that, let me know if you've read any of these books, if you've enjoyed any of these books, if you are on Team Cyrus, what books you are reading currently. Let me know all the thoughts in the comments down below. But with that, I will see you guys in another video. And no, I'm not going to promise when because now I have a newborn and I don't know. All right, I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.